Up.
Well, a nice quiet mid-70s forecast here. Temperatures in the afternoon, similar to what we started the week off. We don't have the heat advisory, thankfully, but we are going to have, of course, our usual heat and humidity. Afternoon storms and watch an area of low pressure. Tropical development, little iffy out there across the Gulf region for the upcoming 5 to 7 day stretch. Doesn't appear we've got a real significant severe risk, although some of those storms yesterday did reach severe limits, heavy downpours and some gusty winds. As far as the temp range goes today, 90s for the afternoon, upper 90s to about the low 100 mark will be a common thing we see for the heat index, so that combo is not going to shift a whole lot. It's a really nice look, though. Get more of that eastern sky look. It's a lot brighter, and we're about 20 minutes or so less away from that sunrise. 73 holding that pattern of lower to mid 70s, 72 in Barnwell, 75, 76 kind of lining the northern tier of the viewing area, low mid 70s down south of town. But about 90 to 94 is where we're expected to land for high temps today, right on average, with a breeze out of the east at 4 to 8. Heat risk, it may come down to a little bit more of a moderate category, but as we start getting a little bit hotter toward the end of the week, kind of shifting back into that major risk. But even though we do see a little bit of a drop at times in our highs down in the low 90s by tomorrow, just do everything you need to prepare for the heat and humidity that will be around. So isolated storms in the heat index at the century mark, 94 being right where we should be. And that's kind of where we are for the next 5 days. We get a little bit hotter going into the weekend, Friday and Saturday. Don't look for a significant amount of thunderstorms on the widespread scale. Now, going back to talking about that area of low pressure, here it is, kind of moving across North Florida into the Gulf. Still kind of showing signs of tropical development, still around 40%. Most of the heavier rain impacts are going to be found along the Gulf Coast there. I-10 from about, I'd say, Tallahassee all the way into Mobile, Alabama. And then farther inland, we're not expected to see the highest rain totals, but we saw some really heavy rain from last night in isolated areas like Bamberg County through Aiken, Edgefield, Saluda counties, kind of drawing in that northeasterly flow, which you'll see kind of as we put this in motion. This is going to be the steering current on the backside of that low. It'll track westward, bringing some heavier rains and even some rough surf and gusty winds there along the Carolina, Georgia, and Florida Atlantic coast. But just kind of drawing in the moisture from the Gulf eventually by tomorrow afternoon and Thursday. Hoping we don't see significant development, but this will kind of move away from our general direction, and that ridge will be built back out across the Atlantic, kind of steering in more of that southerly flow for the next few days, which will bring back, of course, more heat and humidity. Middle 70s to 80s, and then we make that jump around the 90 mark into lunchtime. Isolated thunderstorms here, no different than what we saw from yesterday. We'll start off quiet here on Wednesday morning with lower to mid 70s. Now, might find a few more storms around, say from our eastern South Carolina counties on down to the coast for tomorrow afternoon. But still just keeping that pattern going. 70s for the mornings, mid 90s is going to be a very hot finish to the outlook in the 7-day stretch Thursday, Friday, and all the way through the start of next week. We're right around that 95, 96 degree mark.